Greetings, beloved. I want you to take a deep breath and open your heart today, because what I am about to share will speak directly to the woman in you that the world may not understand, the one that has been overlooked, underestimated, or even forgotten. Today, we are diving into a revelation so powerful that it will shift the way you see yourself, your purpose, and your destiny. The topic today is 7 signs you are a woman chosen and protected by God. I want you to stay with me till the very end, because every word, every pause, every truth in this message is designed to awaken your spirit and remind you that you are not ordinary. You were chosen, you were marked, and you are protected by a God who never misses a step. There are women who have been tested beyond what the human spirit can endure, and yet they rise every single time. They face storms that would crush others, pressures that would make most crumble, but they do not break. There are women who have been tested beyond what the human spirit can endure, and yet they rise every single time. They face storms that would crush others, pressures that would make most crumble, but they do not break. The fire that was meant to destroy them only purifies their soul. Every trial, every sleepless night, every tear cried in secret becomes a testimony of strength. While others complain, they pray. While others give up, they press forward. They have walked through deserts with no map, faced betrayals that cut deep, endured loss that left them empty, and yet they continue because God's hand is upon them. They know that every test is not punishment, it is preparation. Every challenge is not the end, it is the refining process. They learn to stand when the world expects them to fall, to remain steadfast when circumstances scream defeat, to keep believing when hope seems distant. Their endurance is not human, it is divine, built in the hidden moments when no one is watching, strengthened by a presence that never sleeps, a God who sees every struggle and equips them to rise above it. There is a power in silence that the world cannot understand, a stillness that carries more authority than noise ever could. The chosen woman does not need to prove herself or announce her greatness, because God's presence speaks louder than words. While others argue, gossip, or seek attention, she prays. While others panic, she listens. Her quiet is not weakness, it is wisdom forged in the secret place. She knows that storms rage around her, but her peace remains unshaken because she has learned to trust the one who controls every detail. In the silence, clarity comes. In the silence, discernment grows. In the silence, God aligns her steps, sharpens her vision, and protects her from distractions and deception. She does not need approval from people because her approval comes from heaven. She moves deliberately, speaks cautiously, and acts purposefully, knowing that divine timing cannot be rushed and that the enemy cannot understand the calm of one who is led by God. Every quiet season becomes her preparation, every pause her strength, and every moment of stillness a shield for what is sacred in her life. A woman chosen by God sees beyond the surface. She looks at hearts, not appearances. Flattery does not deceive her, false promises do not trap her, and empty words do not sway her. God has sharpened her spirit to recognize truth from deception, to separate what is sacred from what is dangerous. She knows that every relationship, every connection, every opportunity carries weight and consequences. She moves carefully because her life carries influence and purpose. And she cannot afford to be misled. She discerns motives before she engages. She listens to God before she speaks, and she releases what is not meant for her with grace. This discernment is not arrogance. It is divine protection. It shields her from destruction, preserves her peace, and aligns her with the paths that God has ordained. The enemy may try to confuse her. People may try to manipulate her, but she remains vigilant. Her eyes are trained by prayer, her heart guided by faith, and her steps guarded by wisdom that flows from the presence of God. Every decision, every word, every action is filtered through the lens of heaven. There is a woman who has felt the sting of rejection, the loneliness of being misunderstood, overlooked, and even betrayed by those she trusted most. Yet she does not collapse under the weight of disappointment. Every no she has received became a redirection, every closed door, a divine lesson. When people walked away, God drew her closer. When the world turned its back, heaven opened its arms. She does not chase after approval or validation because she has learned that her value is not determined by human acceptance, but by God's affirmation. Her resilience is forged in the quiet places where pain tried to define her, in the nights when tears fell silently and the heart ached in secret. Each heartbreak, every betrayal, and each loss has become fuel to propel her into the destiny God prepared. She bends, she adjusts, she grows stronger, not in comfort, but in trial. And with every rejection, she rises with greater clarity, greater faith, and a deeper trust that what was meant to leave her life was never meant to stay. Her endurance turns every setback into preparation for a breakthrough. There is a woman whose prayers move mountains, whose faith carries weight beyond measure. She does not need a spotlight, a stage, or the world's recognition, because her power flows from God alone. When she speaks, the atmosphere listens. When she intercedes, chains break and doors open that no human hand could unlock. She has fought battles in the quiet, won victories unseen, and learned that true strength is spiritual, not physical. The enemy knows her assignment and fears her prayers because they carry divine authority. She walks with confidence, not in pride, but in alignment with God's will. Her obedience fuels her influence, her humility amplifies her power, and her heart remains pure so that God can speak through her life. She does not manipulate outcomes or seek control. She surrenders to God and lets heaven work. Her presence commands attention, not by force, but by the weight of the Spirit she carries. Every word she utters is seasoned with prayer, every action guided by revelation, and every step aligned with the divine authority God has placed upon her life. There is a woman who has been blessed, who has seen doors open and opportunities unfold, yet she does not boast. She remembers the nights when no one was watching, the prayers whispered in the dark, the tears that fell in silence. She gives glory to God because she knows that every success, every favor, every breakthrough is not of her own doing. Her humility keeps her elevated, even when the world tries to measure her worth by achievements or applause. She understands that true power is not found in recognition, but in surrender. She honors the lessons of the past, the pain that taught gratitude, the losses that taught compassion, the trials that shaped her faith. Because she walks humbly, God continues to lift her higher, not for her glory, but for His purpose. She does not forget where she came from, and she does not seek validation from the eyes of people. Her heart remains aligned with heaven, and her spirit is marked by a quiet strength. In every blessing, she responds with thanksgiving. In every triumph, she responds with reverence. Her humility does not diminish her power, it amplifies it, making her a vessel through which God's favor flows freely, and her obedience becomes the magnet for greater anointing and divine elevation. There is a woman who walks in a supernatural covering that the world cannot explain. Doors open for her that no one else can unlock. Opportunities find her even when she is not searching. People bless her without knowing why, and circumstances shift in her favor because God's hand rests upon her life. This is not luck, this is divine endorsement. She carries favor because her heart is pure, her motives aligned with God's will, and her life surrendered to His purpose. Even those who doubted her are forced to acknowledge that something about her is different, something sacred. Favor follows her like a shadow, protecting her from harm, guiding her steps, and positioning her for destiny. She does not need to strive or manipulate. She moves in alignment, and the universe obeys the one who commands it. Every encounter, every opportunity, every blessing that touches her life is orchestrated by God. She is not propelled by human effort or worldly wisdom, but by divine orchestration. Her presence carries an atmosphere of blessing. Her steps reflect preparation, and her life becomes living proof that when God marks someone, He commands the heavens to cooperate, and nothing meant for destruction can ever prevail against her. There is a woman whose life is not dictated by the approval of others, by the standards of the world, or by fleeting success. She walks in alignment with God's purpose, and that alignment becomes her compass. Every step she takes is measured, every decision filtered through prayer, every action weighed against divine instruction. She does not rush because she knows that God's timing is perfect. She does not settle because she knows her assignment requires patience. She does not compromise because she knows her destiny demands holiness. The world may call her ordinary, but heaven calls her appointed. She moves differently because she listens to a higher voice, obeys a higher command, and trusts a higher plan. Her worth is not determined by recognition. Her confidence is not found in approval, and her power is not measured by influence. It comes from obedience. It comes from surrender. It comes from walking faithfully in the path God has set before her. Every closed door, every delay, every trial she faces is a part of alignment, a part of shaping her for what is meant to be. Her life is a demonstration that purpose, not pressure, guides her steps. There is a woman whose faith cannot be shaken, whose trust in God remains firm even when the world around her collapses. She has faced uncertainty, pain, and seasons where nothing made sense, yet she continues to believe. She walks forward, not because she can see the way, but because she knows the one who holds the way. Her confidence is not in herself, not in circumstances, and not in the opinions of others. It is rooted in the presence of God within her. When storms rage, she stands. When fear whispers, she prays. When doubt threatens, she chooses trust. She understands that waiting is not wasting, that silence is not absence, and that delay is not denial. Every trial strengthens her conviction. Every disappointment deepens her reliance on God, and every loss teaches her to depend on divine provision. She knows that the same God who allowed the fire will walk with her in it. Her faith is not passive, it is active, unwavering, and alive. It fuels her endurance, sharpens her discernment, and positions her for every promise God has prepared. There is a woman whose life itself becomes a message from heaven. Every trial she has endured, every tear she has shed, every battle she has fought is woven into a testimony of God's faithfulness. She does not need words to declare her victory because her presence speaks louder than arguments, and her actions preach louder than sermons. People may not understand her journey, but they can feel the difference. She walks in peace where others find chaos, speaks with wisdom where others speak in confusion, and prays with authority where others doubt. Her life reflects divine intervention, her steps guided by purpose, and her heart anchored in eternity. The world may try to measure her by appearances, by success, or by popularity, but she knows her worth is found in God alone. She has become living proof that what begins in tears can end in triumph, that pain can produce power, and that faithfulness produces favor. Every season, every test, every hidden moment has shaped her into a vessel of influence, a reflection of divine glory, and a beacon of hope for all who see her. Beloved, as we close today, I want you to see this clearly. The endurance you carry, the silence you embrace, the discernment that guides you, the resilience through rejection, the spiritual authority that moves heaven, the humility in victory, the divine favor that follows you, the alignment with God's purpose, the unshakable faith, and the life you live as a testimony. This is who you are. You are a woman chosen by God. You are protected by His hand. Every tear you have shed, every trial you have endured, every waiting season has been preparation for a season of breakthrough, elevation, and divine favor. You do not need the world to see you, the world to validate you, or the world to bless you. God has marked you, He has prepared you, and He has positioned you. Your story, your life, and your faith are a living testimony of His glory, and nothing, no one, can erase what He has placed in you. Rise, beloved. Walk boldly. Stand firmly. Pray fearlessly. Your time is now. Your purpose is unstoppable, and your destiny is divinely sealed. Thank you for joining me today. If this message touched your spirit, make sure to subscribe to the channel David Diga Hernandez, because here we uncover truths that awaken your calling, strengthen your faith, and align you with God's purpose. Drop a comment below. I am chosen and protected by God, and let the world know that your destiny cannot be shaken. Remember, the The woman God has chosen is unstoppable. Walk in it, live in it, shine for it.